Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Time War podcast. I'm here with Anish today. Say hi, Anish.
What's up?
Today we're gonna talk about the big game tomorrow, Liverpool versus Man City. We're just gonna do like a quick pre-match, and tomorrow after the game we'll do a longer post-match analysis and see how the game turned out. Yeah, over to you, Anish. You can go all in on the details.
Yeah, so first things first, do like some house cleaning. The reason we're doing the brief pre-match without any diagrams or any such, tactical schemes or something like that. It's mainly because we're trying to switch things up
Mm-hmm.
instead of like trying to like, put too much emphasis on the previews. We're gonna like do much more analysis and
After the fact.
dissect the match exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Makes way more sense, I think, like to
Yeah.
do it that way, and then to do the the 15-minute previews like before the game.
Mm-hmm.
So really, what we're gonna try and do here is just give some insight into the game, some key players, maybe some key broad concepts that broad tactical strokes that like both managers might use,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end we'll just like just give our predictions for it. So right now it's like, let's start with this. It's pretty impossible to escape how good Ilkay Gundogan has been.
Yes.
I think he's like maybe the best midfielder in the league. Maybe next to or better than Bruno Fernandes this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like ages since a midfielder in Man City has been better than KDB. But even if KDB was fit right now, I don't think he'd be better than Gundogan based off just how Gundogan has been playing, especially in for many weeks in there. Like City were playing without a striker, and he took up the role of like being the main goal scorer in the team.
Yep.
Additionally, it's been ages since Man City have had a better fullback than Kyle Walker, but right now João Cancelo has really like taken up that role in the team. While Walker's had his injury issues and fitness problems and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
Cancelo is shown to be versatile, playing left back and right back. And I think he's with his dribbling ability and how good he is on the ball. I think he's really good at carrying the ball into midfield and making like smart plays and things like that. Playing like an inverted fullback, like what Pep likes to do. And so I think what like what we're gonna do now is just like go over some key battles that can happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
First things first, it's really difficult, to like just get this out of the way. It's really difficult to like figure out what each manager is going to do. As far as their starting 11s, like Liverpool's, like it's anyone's guess. Supposedly, Alisson, Fabinho, and Mane are going to be back tomorrow. Like maybe they'll start, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll
Mm-hmm.
come off the bench in the second half. It's hard to say. For Man City, Pep has some options. Pep has some options. I personally think that in this game, it's rare to say because the thing is, when you go with a system without a striker,
Mm-hmm.
like usually it doesn't work, especially against low block teams, because you need that striker there, that number 9 there to occupy defenders and help create space and stuff like that. But with City, I feel like without Jesus and maybe even without Aguero, they're as good, like playing a counter-attacking game as well as a possession-based game against a deep block.
Mm-hmm.
Just like going with the front three of Sterling in a free roll, Mars on the right, and Foden on the left, and then of course behind them in the midfield, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. All five of those guys have been phenomenal so far this season. I think that attack is probably their best attack, but I think based on the fitness of the squad, and Pep's own slight favoritism here and there, I think he's gonna go with Gabriel Jesus in that number 9 role tomorrow. So Jesus versus whoever Klopp starts at center back. That's gonna be like one key battle. Another key battle is gonna be like Liverpool's fullbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Trent, because great going forward, but he leaves a lot of space at the back. So
Mm-hmm.
who's Pep gonna start on the left flank? I'm pretty sure. Sterling's going to start there. But who's going to be the left back? Is it going to be Zinchenko or is it going to be Cancelo playing as an inverted left back?
Mm.
We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. I'm not really sure what the fitness is of Kyle Walker right now.
Yeah.
If Walker's fit, we might see Cancelo at left back.
Hmm.
So,
Let me ask you a quick
like, that's
question. So, are Liverpool's new center backs allowed to play?
new center. I believe they might, but, like, I don't think they will.
They won't play them
I
in a big
believe,
game like this, right?
yeah,
First,
like,
yeah,
just throw them right into the big
you're
game. I
right.
don't think that's going to happen, but they might be allowed to. So you might see, like, a substitution or something
Of
like
like
that.
Kabak or
Yeah,
Phillips, yeah. But yeah,
you
continue.
know, they might be allowed to. But yeah,
Mm.
that's a really good question because they made some important signings potentially over there.
Hmm.
And as far as the formations go, I'm thinking both teams are going to try to deploy a 4-3-3, but maybe the 4-3-3 is going to look different on the field. You know,
Hmm.
so like Liverpool, they'll try to keep their fullbacks high and wide.
Yep.
City might tuck theirs in. And Jesus, I feel, is a little bit more attacking and the in your face as far as like being occupying defenders and stuff like that compared to Firmino. Although both are quite mobile,
Hmm.
they're not really like a box, strictly like in the box, in the 18-yard type of strikers. So like I think it's really difficult to call this game because what if Liverpool show up and beat City, somehow like and go against the betting odds, and or what if City just do what many people are expecting them to do against like a weakened Liverpool team and just beat them, and then just go on to win the league. I think City go on to win the league either way. I'm gonna be honest, even if they draw or lose this game, because the thing is they're so much more consistent against the smaller teams, and they have so much better squad depth compared to Liverpool. They're more injury resistant, right? So, for example, Kevin De Bruyne is injured. City have Bernardo Silva and Gundogan they can rely upon for that creativity and the goal scoring. In the from the the attacking third. Liverpool don't have that. You know, and I think a really key battle here. Speaking of the midfield, is going to be Thiago versus Gundogan. That's definitely like a key battle in the midfield. Or if you want to include, Bernardo Silva, you could say Bernardo Silva and Gundogan versus Thiago in the midfield because Thiago absolutely, I think, is going to start this game and he has a huge role to play. The disadvantages in this is that Thiago is not really gotten much game time this season. He's not really at his best. And to make matters worse for him, Pep knows him in and out because Pep's seen him at Barca and he's seen him for several seasons at Bayern as well. So Pep knows this player really well from Liverpool. And on the flip side, Klopp knows City's best player, which is Gundogan, really, really well. So what is he going to do to really limit Gundogan's influence in this game? Because in Dortmund, Gundogan, like, and we'll link this video I'm about to reference below. Um, we did a video before talking about the role Gundogan played in Dortmund, back in the Klopp era. And it's pretty fascinating because I think honestly that Dortmund team under Klopp have more resemblance to this current Man City team than the Liverpool. See, Liverpool, like, they try to play a more conventional style of football, which is like push the fullbacks up, play two modern fullbacks high up the pitch and just have them ping crosses into the box for like the forwards, Salah and Mane. Then that's really where the creativity comes from. But Dortmund were more of a team that cut you open down the middle, and the player that had a huge role in that style of play was Ilkay Gundogan because he was the ball carrier and a major playmaker, um, and link up man in that midfield in Dortmund. And here he has even more attacking role, especially since City have had issues with their number nines. He's been the guy that stepped up and scored. He's been that guy who stepped up in the cam role in the absence of KDB as well. Creating. So I think that's really going to be a key battle. And if Gundogan continues where he's at and Thiago continues in the form he's in, I'm leaning slightly more towards Gundogan winning that. And potentially the midfield battle is going to determine who wins this game. If there is going to be a winner. So because it's at Anfield, even though there's no crowd and Liverpool have looked vulnerable at Anfield so
Mm-hmm.
far, I'm going with a 0-0. And this isn't a game like that has 0-0 written all over it, where these teams are necessarily going to cancel each other out.
Yeah.
But I'm going with a 0-0 because it's very hard to predict a score line.
Mm-hmm.
City could thrash Liverpool. Liverpool could also. I don't think they'll thrash City, but they can somehow beat City, like nick a 1-0 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this can go either way. So I'm just gonna go with a 0-0, or maybe you can say even a 1-1 if you want to give both teams like a scoring,
Yeah.
get both teams on the score sheet. So I can say like I'm gonna go ahead and say 1-1 for this game. So what's your prediction and thoughts?
I'm just trying to think. So, okay. Every time these two teams play, it's like I don't know why, but it's not that it's boring, but like nothing happens. Like it's either like 0-0, 1-1. Like I've never seen a 4-0 City or like a 3-0 Liverpool, or I haven't seen it in a while at least. So, but like considering how weak Liverpool have been, like you said, at Anfield, and how clearly they're struggling in many areas, especially in the defense. I think City are gonna win 2-1 to City. I think they'll win,
That's yeah. Mm.
but yeah, like you said, anything is possible because
Mm-hmm.
when there's a derby, anything can it's like it always happens in a Clasico too. It's like Real Madrid or
Mm-hmm.
Barca could be playing like ass, but then when the Clasico comes, they turn up for some reason. I mean, because it's an
Just a
important
big
game.
game.
Yeah, it's just a big game, so they have to show up. But yeah, so I'd say 2-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 0-0, like you said. Yeah, and I
Mm-hmm.
guess we'll find out what Gundogan is gonna do this game
Yeah.
because of how he's been informed. But yeah, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow at what, at like 11 a.m. is the game? EST?
Yeah, I think 11:15 Eastern. And that should be equal to about 4:30 in the British Standard Time.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. Yep.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. So,
Okay.
and when, wait, if City win, how many points
I
ahead will
think
they
they'd be
be?
8 clear if they win their game in hand
8
too.
points clear of second?
Yeah, 8 points clear of second. Yeah,
Jeez.
of United if they win their game in hand, because they still have another game in hand after
Oh,
tomorrow.
okay.
Yeah,
Damn.
against Everton. Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Hmm.
I don't think they'll make the 100 again, but uh and then predicting who's going to win the league, that's a whole nother video, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
I mean,
we're
I think
yeah.
City. I think City. Like, I mean, but yeah, we'll talk more about that tomorrow for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
I think City either way will win
Especially
the league.
especially if they win, they have a
Mhm.
big chance. All in all.
And two reasons why for
Mhm.
me is because they've improved in two areas, and the main one is the defense.
Mhm.
Right, they figured out a center back partnership finally. I think Stones is probably the most improved player in
Oh,
City,
facts,
like
easily.
for sure. And then like it's not far off to say that um was Ruben
Oh
Dias,
yeah,
I believe that's how
yeah,
you say it,
Ruben.
like
Yeah.
Dias or Diaz, maybe. Like he's probably like the. It's not far off to say that he's the Van Dyke,
I was just gonna
kind
say
of.
that. Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
He's Man City's Van Dyke. Yep.
Hmm.
He
And then
he
another thing,
rescued their defense. But yeah, continue.
yeah, absolutely he did. Yeah, definitely he did. Like, and okay, wait, I've got a question for
Mhm.
you. So do you think he was this good always, or do you think like Pep improved him at least a little bit?
Uh, I didn't see too much of him at Benfica. I mean, like I
Hmm.
watched some like compilations, but compilations are like cherry picked videos
Yeah, that's true.
of like defensive highlights. So, um, Pep always improves all his players.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
Sterling. I mean, yeah, he improved Sterling. He improved Sane even though he left. He
Hmm.
definitely improved De Bruyne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gundogan has shown to been
Yeah, a
improved a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Cancelo didn't do any of this by himself. Surely Pep
Hmm.
has like
Yeah, for
talked to
sure.
him or something. Kyle Walker. Yeah. I feel like it's Pep's. It's a half and half. Half of Pep's, and I'm sure, and I know a friend of ours who's a City fan said that he watched a little bit of, or he watched Diaz and said that he's always been good. So, but yeah, I think it's like half talent, half Pep's uh, training. So yeah.
Hmm. So yeah, and then another thing I feel like, and I'll try to like watch the game closely to
Mhm.
elaborate on this in the post match, but I feel like on a lower key after the defense, one thing
Mhm.
that's improved a lot for Man City is their combination play around the box.
Mhm.
I think like the very quick combat like, and I saw this again against Burnley. Maybe it's they've returned back to their best form from 2019, or maybe they've improved.
Mhm.
It's been quite a while since we've seen City in on such a run, but I think from what I can remember, their combination play around the box has improved, and that's like a big reason, especially without a striker, that like their attack has been able to like fashion so many chances because the movement and the sorts of 1-2s and things that like the players like combine
Yeah.
around the boxes, and the interchange can really like lead to a disorientation of the opposition defense and like
Mhm.
create many sort of crazy kind of opportunities for Man City to score. So yeah, so like if they do that to Liverpool tomorrow, especially if they're missing defenders, they're definitely going to be missing Van Dijk and Matip. So like if they do that tomorrow to Liverpool, like we'll definitely try and like go into the goals and dissect exactly like what happened and how they were scored. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty interesting game tomorrow for sure. For sure. For sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's all you got for today, Anish. That's all
Yep.
our thoughts. Yeah, but yeah, like
Yeah.
we
How about
said,
you?
we're gonna go much
Hmm.
more in depth on after the game and see what happened because anything because we have no idea what's gonna happen tomorrow, obviously. So yeah, but I guess we'll see tomorrow at 11:15. And for you guys in the UK at 4:30, and for the rest of the world, I don't know what time. But yeah, should be a good game. I hope it is. Are there any other games that day?
Hmm.
Are there any
Um,
like Premier League
Tomorrow,
important games or
not important ones.
no?
Let me just look at the full like. Let
Oh,
me
okay.
let me pull up the full schedule right. Just
All
to
right.
be from so tomorrow is the earliest game is Spurs against West Brom.
Oh, okay.
Then Wolves against Leicester. I mean, that's kind of a big
Ooh,
game.
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
tasty.
we'll talk about that a little bit if something crazy happens.
Yeah.
And then Sheffield against Chelsea in the afternoon. And then Leeds against Crystal Palace, which
Ooh,
might be kind of an unpredictable one as well. Yeah.
I like to see what's gonna happen with Tuchel this time.
Yeah, we'll
See
definitely like have to see like
see
because
what he does for sure.
there's definitely a lot of fuss around him for sure.
But yeah, so all right, if that's it from you, and that's it from me.
Hmm.
Um, I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow at about. I mean, let's see. It'll be later in the day when we upload the video, but yeah, we'll do an in-depth video with pictures of tactical analysis, maybe even some pictures of like from the game itself, if YouTube lets us, of like positioning and all that stuff. And yeah, so that's been it from us today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Thank
Hmm.
you for watching all these videos,
Thank you,
and
thank you.
thank you for sticking with us even though we were gone. So yeah, and we're gonna try to keep consistently uploading for sure. And
Mm.
the gaming channel is being worked on right now, so be ready for that. All right, see you guys. Bye.